So after a few weeks break, the World Endurance Championship is back, and they're heading to Portugal for the second round of the season. The Portuguese track is expected to host its second ever race in the World Endurance Championship. So as 37 cars take to the track, it's time to go into the race preview for the 6 Hours of Portimão. The WEC is back to racing in 2023, and what a first race it truly was, the 1,000 miles of Sebring. And by the way, if you did miss that event, make sure to check out my race review, and I'll put a link to that in the top right corner. In Hypercar, it was Toyota Gazoo Racing that dominated Sebring. The number 7 car finished ahead of the 8 to make it a Toyota 1-2 in the States. Overall, in Hypercar, it was great to see the first ever battle between LMH and LMDH cars, and I would say we got a pretty good start to the season. So as the WEC returns to Portugal, I think it's going to be a different styled race compared to the previous round at Sebring, as there's massive differences between the two tracks. Sebring has a lot of bumps and is very narrow at times, where Portimão is a very wide track and is like a roller coaster as you go up and down the hills. 37 cars will take to the Portimão Circuit, with 11 in Hypercar, 12 in LMP2, and 14 in GTE-AM. No change in the amount of Hypercars for Portimão, the same exact driver lineups and cars as the Sebring race. In LMP2, there's a slight change in the driver lineup. That is the number 48 Hertz team Jota, and they of course won the Sebring LMP2 race. Home hero Antonio Felix da Costa joins the Jota team, and keep this in mind, this is likely the last time we'll see the number 48 Jota car in LMP2, as the team is heading to Hypercar from the 6 Hours of Spa onward, as Hertz team Jota are entering in their Porsche 963. Let's take a look at the championship standings before round 2. In Hypercar, Toyota lead the championship, and that's mainly because of that Sebring win they got a few weeks ago. The number 7 car leads by 11 points to the sister number 8 GR010. The number 50 Ferrari sits third, followed by the Cadillac, the 2 Porsches, the 51 Ferrari, then the Van Wall, the 2 Peugeots, and finally the Glickenhaus. For the top 3 of the remaining 2 classes, in LMP2 it is the number 22 United Autosports car leading the championship. The reason why the number 48 Jota car is not at the top of the leaderboard is because it is not a full-time entry and cannot score points. In GTE-AM, it is the number 33 Corvette racing car, which had a brilliant race last time out in Sebring. They lead by 11 points to the number 88 Proton. So how long is this race, and when exactly is it taking place? Well, the duration of this event will be 6 hours. Before, in 2021, when Portugal hosted a WEC race, it was 8 hours. But for this year, it's going to be 6 hours. The qualifying session for this race will take place on April 15th, which is a Saturday, from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. local time. The race will take place on April 16th, which is a Sunday, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. local time. So what about the track? Well, it's called the Autódromo Internacional do Algarve, or commonly referred to as just Portimão Circuit. The circuit opened its doors in October of 2008 and has hosted many different races across the years, famously hosting the Formula 1 Portuguese Grand Prix from 2020 to 2021. The World Endurance Championship has only come here once in its history, back in 2021. It was called the 8 Hours of Portimão and was won by Toyota Gazoo Racing. Only 2 hypercars were on the grid at the time, the GR010 and Glickenhaus's SCG007. The fastest lap in qualifying was set by the grandfathered Alpine A480, a 130.364. It's possible we may see that lap broken though, as 2 years later we see a whole bunch of hypercars on the grid. The track has 15 turns that make up the 4.6 kilometer circuit, 2.8 miles for those using that format. A very important factor to consider is how to watch this race. Well, here's a chart of where to watch across the world. For most of Europe, it's going to be Eurosport that streams the race. For Asia and Australia, it's going to be Eurosport Asia. In the American continents, we have Motor Trend streaming the race for the USA, Discovery Velocity for Canada, Fox Sports 3 for Mexico, and then for South America, it is DirecTV Sports. The list goes on from here. But this chart I have on screen should display everything you need to know on where to watch the race live. If these options are not available for you, I suggest watching the race highlights that the World Endurance Championship puts out after the race is finished, and then also make sure to check out my race review on the 6 Hours of Portimão, which will release a few days after the event is concluded. It's now prediction time, and for GTE AM, I'm going to go for the number 85 Iron Dames Porsche to grab their first win this season. In LMP2, I have to say the number 23 United Autosports car. They were robbed of the victory last time out in Sebring, and I think they're going to get redemption here at Portimão. In Hypercar, I believe the field is going to be a lot closer than what it was in Sebring. I still think Toyota is going to grab a victory. I think it's going to come through the number 8 GR010, but I believe Ferrari is going to take the fight to Toyota and grab a second place. For the remaining spots, I definitely think it's going to be a close battle, especially between the remaining Ferrari, Toyota, and the 2 Porsches. I think this track will benefit the 9X8 Hypercar more than Sebring. And as for Cadillac, they haven't had any testing here, so I think they'll be lacking in pace compared to the likes of Toyota, Ferrari, and Porsche. But nevertheless, I still think they're going to be quick. And then of course there's the non-hybrid Le Mans hypercars of Glickenhaus and Vanwall. I believe both just need to keep it consistent in terms of reliability and pace. If they can keep up with the other 5 manufacturers, I think they'll have a good race. Hopefully they get some good points here at Portimão. So that should be everything you need to know ahead of the 6 Hours of Portimão for the second round of the 2023 season. What are you most excited for as the World Endurance Championship returns to Portugal? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments section. If you're interested in more endurance racing content, subscribe to the left to see weekly videos here on this channel. Also, check out the videos to the right of your screen, especially my preview for the Long Beach IMSA race. So with that, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.